Hey, Doug, I'm over there.
Aw, man. As long as you didn't climb in a laundromat.
Still the best joke in Sonic the Hedgehog, the afternoon show.
I would argue in anything Sonic the Hedgehog, actually. Not that I've seen a ton of Sonic the Hedgehog, but
morning, yeah.
no, but you know.
It's just so bizarre.
Even in the good Sonic the Hedgehog stuff, it's like, nothing's gonna top that joke.
No.
It's an amazing joke. It's when we saw that, we literally laughed out loud. We were just like, that is the most bizarre thing.
It is. It's the sort of thing that a writer at their wit's end, just completely bereft of ideas, goes, I got nothing. He's like, all right, let's go pure desperate. Hey, look, I'm over there. And he looks. But it works. It really works.
There is something to when you're just pushed against a corner and you'll just say or do anything, that desperation, that sometimes can really pay off.
That was the equivalent of playing Cards Against Humanity and playing a random card because you're like, they all suck. Boom. And it wins.
And it's like, yeah. It's hilarious.
God, what a good scene.
So, yeah, with that said, we're going to talk about the both Sonic cartoon shows back in the 90s. The one that ran on Saturday morning, or Sat AM, I guess as it's known.
Satam.
And the one that was, I think in syndication, because it came on every day. Not surprisingly.
I always just refer to it as the afternoon show, because I seem to remember coming on afternoons, like...
Yeah, and in the review, I get super angry, and I compare the two together. I'm like, that fucking show, I hated that show. And when I was a kid watching it, no, I actually did think that and I was not like a huge Sonic fan, I just hated this show, because I didn't get it. I didn't understand.
Dirty little secret, we never owned a Sega Genesis.
No. But we had
dirtier little secret, Santa Christ never owned a Sega Genesis.
Well, he's trying to make up for that. He's trying to hand it to everyone. Make up for what he missed.
To give what I did not have.
But I did not understand back then that this is the equivalent of like what the Adam West Batman was. You know, I'm pretty 90% sure this was meant to be stupid.
The funny thing is, you actively hated it. The afternoon show, I was just largely indifferent to. I'm like, well, it's meant for little kids. That came out, early in like 92, 93?
Something like that.
I was like 12 or
90s.
13, and I'm like, whatever, I'll go watch Animaniacs. It was just one of those things, like, I didn't care, so I didn't actively hate it. I was like, well, there it is, not for me, next.
Well, I think, too, because this is the time where, you know, we were talking about the gritty 90s, or the gritty early 90s and the gritty 80s, where things were starting to get a lot brighter, and we were promised all of this dark stuff. The Mario Brothers movie was gonna be dark, you know, Last Action Hero was gonna be muscle-bound and gritty and stuff, and we weren't getting...
again.
Well, no, and then we got Batman Forever and stuff. Everything was getting, like, really lightly sugar-coated, so I think there was, back then, now we have, for a while we got sort of a surplus of them, but back then there was sort of this crave for actual darker stuff, because for younger people, at least our age, because things were going lighter. So when the Saturday morning one came on, even though really, if I was to make a show out of Sonic the Hedgehog, I'd probably do like the afternoon one, but the fact that they took it and they did make it like so gritty and so dark. I mean, by back then, Batman came out, was a lot darker, and X-Men and stuff. But for back then, it's like, okay, we're gonna do Sonic the Hedgehog, that's really fast blue hedgehog fighting this giant robotic guy. And they really made it pretty gritty, pretty grim, and a good environmental message that is not shoved in your face.
They threw effort into it that you'd never think, like, what... I think some of it, too, is, remember, we're coming off of the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Yeah.
With both the Mario Brothers cartoon and the Legend of Zelda, and let's be honest, it was a corporate shill move. Like, it was just like, throw something out there, anything, slap Nintendo's name on it. Yeah, and it was very obvious, but we were kids and we ate it up. Only now do we look back and laugh.
Yeah.
But yeah, when that came out, there was so much effort thrown into it for something that could have been like the afternoon show. I'm actually surprised that they launched both.
Yeah, I don't know how that deal worked.
But it's just weird that it's like, and we have this one during the week, which is really bright and colorful and goofy, and we have this really serious one we throw all this effort in on the weekends, but
has that ever happened? Like, since then or before?
I want to say there were 2 Mario Brothers shows running concurrently at one point.
Were there?
I thought, wasn't there a Super Mario 3 or a Super Mario
No,
World?
that came out after the Mario.
Well after the...
Yeah, every time a new game came out, they had a new show. But yeah,
if it's happened, it doesn't happen often.
No, I cannot even think of another time. Maybe there is,
but I mean, can you imagine having a Batman the Animated Series during the week that was...
And the Batman Brave and the Bold.
Yeah, that was like the Adam West series. Like, just completely goofy and colorful, and then, like, Batman the Animated Series that we know running on the weekend, like, all dark and...
You know, and I don't think it happens much, because from a marketing standpoint, that'd just be a nightmare. Like, you know, you're trying to sell the toys. Well, which Sonic is this? Is this the Sonic I watch during the afternoon, or the Sonic I watch on Saturday morning? Like, a kid wouldn't even know how to explain
Well, there is one advantage there, is that they're gonna look the same, no matter what.
Yeah.
Like, you can goof up Batman, you can't goof up Sonic. Like, he's gonna look like Sonic the Hedgehog no matter what. You can't make him look any I guess you could make him look darker, but he's gonna be unrecognizable, so...
Yeah, so yeah, we have this show that is clearly just supposed to be goofy, but everyone wanted me to review this show, and they wanted me to be angry and mean at it, and watching it, I'm like, I can't do a whole episode dedicated to this, so let's
what's to be
tie it
that
in with
angry about? It was what it was. Just a cheap show for 5-year-olds meant to get a few quick, cheap laughs. Like, I can't invest the hatred in it. Like,
well, and I think even in terms of surreality, it's kind of creative in just how fucking strange it is.
It's like,
I mean, does he like blow into his hand and just make a pumpkin or something like that? Like, how does that work?
I can tell the writers were just either high or just like, nobody's watching. Let's do whatever the hell we
want. So, I mean, there is creativity to that. And then with the other one, the Saturday morning one, the Saturday morning one I put on par with like the Disney afternoon shows. I'm so impressed that they took something that's so silly.
Honestly, it's better.
Yeah, I mean... I don't know if I could. It's on par at least. It's hard to think about it.
The only one that I thought had a really interesting story arc, probably the beginning of DuckTales, where they went through.
The Tailspin has some interesting story.
Tailspin had some interesting story arcs, but there's kind of a goofiness, and that's fine. I love the early Disney afternoon stuff. There was sort of a lighthearted sort of goofiness to it that I don't think the Sonic Saturday morning one had as much. The Sonic Saturday morning one was more serious.
Well, when the Disney afternoon went dark, it was just the right amount of dark. It was, okay, we're gonna go heavy, but not scare your kids too much heavy. You know, Sonic, I could see, like, fucking Sonic the Hedgehog, I could see kind of scaring little kids. The scenes where the characters get roboticized are scary scenes.
There was... You know what it is? It's and we joked about this. It's like The Empire Strikes Back. There's a kind of relentlessness to the villains that you feel like you're always on the run in the show. Well, and that's something that I don't think the Disney afternoon really did much. It was always a villain of the week and this and that. There wasn't this plot that seemed to last a whole season. Like, even like Rescue Rangers with Fat Cat, he kind of showed up randomly. Like, this was a revolution story. Like,
it was Hunger Games, kind of.
We're gonna take back what's rightfully ours, and we're going to defeat the evil empire. It was very Star Wars for what it was. Right down the thing that looks like Endor a bit with the forest.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that is one of the great things about the original Star Wars is that they almost always opened on a downer. You know, and it was, when you really look at it, there's actually adventure, but it's like you're fighting this empire that has taken over everything, and this is kind of the same thing. And there is sort of this uncomfortable feeling like you want to fight back against these people, but for now you have to just be a rebel. You have to sort of hide in the woods and stuff, and these guys are always after you. But
and what Disney afternoon show did that?
Yeah, and there is
none of them.
There is a legit, you know, when you're watching as a kid, it gets you more sucked in and it gets your adrenaline going. Avatar did the same thing.
Yeah,
the bad guys have won.
It
now
reminds
it's trying
me
to
of
take
Avatar,
everything back.
And I think that's the key. It's like, you never saw when things were great. It seems to just start off like, well, we've already lost, time to fight back. Like, and it works. Like, as a kid, like, you're just sucked into it immediately.
Well, I think
I was older and was watching it really sucked in. I was like 14 and I'm like, this is pretty good.
Well, I think the reason it especially works for kids is because kids have a lot of energy. Majority of them have things pretty good. I mean, you know, you're a kid. Your parents are going to take care of you. You watch cartoons and stuff like that. But so there is something when you have a lot of energy, you have a lot of adrenaline and stuff, and you're you're super active, you want to go play, you want to do all this stuff, and they give you a world where you need to have a lot of energy. You need to be on your guard. You need to have your adrenaline up a lot. Yeah, and I think that's why those shows, we do remember them so well, and they do hold up so well. As an adult, I mean, after a while, you're just like, hey, give me the afternoon show. Things are tough now, job, work, whatever, but... You know, when you're a kid, you crave that stuff and you want as much of it as possible. And these shows, when they put you in a world, you know, this dystopia where just this evil empire, whatever, has taken over, you're constantly on your guard, and that's kind of what you want. You want your energy constantly up, and you want a show that kind of gives you that. So it really was well put together. The only thing, looking back now, it's funny because I was looking at sort of like the old comics I used to draw and stuff, and I was very inspired. Like, I always like sort of combining like Animaniacs and X-Men. Those are always kind of like somehow which nowadays is kind of a common thing. You can take like
you were pretty out there.
No, but nowadays like fucking Adventure Time or like Steven Universe or stuff. I mean, you can take these really goofy ideas and you can make them really serious. Yeah, no, but that really is what I think. I think kids back then just wanted to take the things they like, combine them together. You know, even Avatar could get really goofy but really serious too. So I think people sort of like that combination, and I definitely saw with my style, you know, the really big heads and the tiny bodies, and I'm realizing, like, I think I really got that from, like, Sonic and probably Tiny Toons. They had a bit of that too, but in Sonic, those heads would just fucking fall over and they'd have to drag them around.
I think that's from the video game, though. Like,
what? Yeah, probably. It's a little bit, but I don't know. They looked especially big in the show. Yeah, Good God, Jim Cummings as Robotnik.
Oh God! Well, just Jim Cummings in anything. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, but there is something like, how do you make that design scary? And
it's, I mean, very Vader-esque with the voice. I'm like, okay, that's terrifying. Good job.
Yeah, no, there's
Good job, Mr. Cummings.
I can't even remember what episode it was, but there was one where it's like he's yelling like Snively, you know, he's yelling at him, and then whatever, Sonic turns off all the power in the plane, all the power goes off, and then his red eyes light up to light the room, and he's got this sneer, and he just looks at Snively with the red eyes glowing in his face. I'm like, oh my God, that is terrifying.
Jesus.
But it's wonderful because that's what we want as kids. We want something darker, but not like, you know, we're gonna fucking punch you in the face dark, you know, just endless violence. We want like something that was smart and also gave you hope too. And that was a legitimately like good balance. And again, we were talking about these two shows being on at the same time and how confusing that can get. They had the same voice actor. Yeah, as Sonic.
I would have killed if in the Saturday morning when he's like, I want a chili dog.
Yeah, how would a chili dog even exist in that world?
We sourced it from local meats from the forest. Oh.
They're cannibals!
Not cannibals, I'm just saying, we lost a few along the way on the missions, and what are you gonna do? Gotta recycle, we're all carnivores here, right? Except for maybe the squirrel.
But, I also like
Fetch Tails!
I was gonna say, I really like that they downplay Tails, too.
Oh, I think we all did.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, okay, you need a little kid character, fair enough, and they're just like, nah, we're gonna put more attention to the adults in this one.
I always felt, because we didn't own a Genesis, but I had friends who had a Genesis, and playing Sonic 2 and everything, I felt they never got Tails right in any incarnation. I'm not sure I imagine him as that much of like this little kid.
Yeah.
Like, I just kind of thought he was like a lesser sort of Sonic partner or something. Like, I don't know. I always thought it was weird that they skewed so young, but I don't know.
I think it's a kid show. You got your hero. You need your Robin. You need your Jubilee. You need the kid to look at everything.
Are you saying I'm not enough? We should have made the chili dog the sidekick. Give it some legs.
How do you know he's not? Chili dogs is Tails! It's people! So yeah, that's our conspiracy theory, I guess. But
the split as dark as the show.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I guess sum up, I don't. Neither of us really hate the afternoon one. It is what it is, and it's
like saying I hate Hanna-Barbera cartoons. It's like they're meant for little kids. Mm. Like,
I do hate Hanna-Barbera.
I know. Well,
I can't stand them. The
you know
stuff like Flintstones.
You know what? It's just because Scooby-Doo was too smart for you. Okay, admit it. You could never figure out who the ghost was.
I admire their creativity, but I never actually got into the show. And they're not bad for kids. They're not bad. I just don't like them. And they're a little bad, but they're just not my thing.
Who just actively hates them? Like, it is what it is. Like, some cartoons are just aimed for kids, and...
Yeah, I can't watch Scooby-Doo and be like, fucking Scooby-Doo, what the hell? He should be talking better English. How are you even talking to him?
I fucking hate Barney the dinosaur. I fucking hate him. I think you're the wrong audience.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. But no, honestly, for little kids, the Hanna-Barbera stuff is fine. I liked it when I was a little kid. I never got the primetime thing.
The Sonic Afternoon Show, it's an electronic babysitter. That's it. Here's some bright images. The kids sit there eating their fruit snacks.
It's not making you dumber, it doesn't have any bad messages. Some of them are thinking a little too ahead.
Now,
don't climb inside a lunch.
Now, the Saturday morning show, that one's amazing.
Yeah, that's an actual legit good show, which is still corny. Don't get me wrong.
We were pretty grown up and watching that, so that one was for like all ages.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's still corny, meant for 12 and 13-year-olds.
It's Sonic the fucking Hedgehog!
Yeah, but for a show meant for 12 and 13-year-olds, it's really damn good. It's a good show. Not quite Batman good, but it's actually
it's like saying
very,
Animaniacs is goofy. Well, it's the fucking Animaniacs!
Yeah, exactly.
What do you expect? It's still a cartoon to a certain degree.
Yeah. No, it's a really good show, and you should probably check it out. It's
the biggest sin... to this day, I hear they continued it in a comic series, which I'm going to have to look up. Mm. But the way it just got canceled on that cliffhanger, I'm like, to this day, I'm like, no! Because I was invested.
It was a great cliffhanger.
I was really invested. I'm like, who is that guy? What's going on? And it was like, Sonic's been canceled. I was like, fuck you!
So yeah, and honestly, I'm like,
it didn't deserve that. It really didn't.
I agree. Albeit so many people are trying to send me these emails and tell me what it is. I'm just like, it's too late, guys. I'm not that interested anymore.
It's not even that I'm kind of interested, but it's just too late in the sense that, you know what? I haven't known for this long. Maybe it's better just to leave the mystery.
No, nothing can actually deliver what we thought.
Well, it's like I had read.
Now, if you want to find out, we're not saying, you're a pansy. If you want to go,
go look it up.
I'm sure it's well done.
It's I read Dune way back in the day, the original Frank Herbert series, and he died before he finished it, and now his son and another writer have finished it and everything, and it had been so long since I read it. And always kind of wondered what happened, but I think now I'm just kind of like, you know what, I'm kind of just okay with the mystery. Like, maybe I'll just never know. Or maybe it's one of those things like, on my deathbed, two people will come up and tell me the ending to Saturday Morning and the ending to Dune.
Wow, that was really cool. I wish I saw that.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if it's worth looking up anymore. I'm kind of like, you know what, my imagination will fill with it. It's kind of more fun that way, that some things you don't know. It's a mystery. But.
Yeah, like with Avatar, I legitimately want to know what happened to Zuko's mother, so I've read the comics. And if they do a Korra series, I would love to see that continue.
Well, it also helps with that, though, that we just had Korra.
Yeah,
Avatar's not that old. We're still a little under 10 years on that. I mean, Sonic show, it was, 93, 94, somewhere in there,
Your interests just kind of change.
Yeah.
Even if you do it for a living. Even if you talk about it for a living.
But yeah, it's a great show. If you want a good old school cartoon, particularly if you're one of those people that was born in the late 90s and missed it, look it up.
Yeah,
it was really, really good.
It was a good combination of
way better than it had any right to be.
It was a good combination of sort of bright-eyed, animals talking, sort of like Tiny Toons, mixed with, sort of the harshness of X-Men or Batman.
Can you imagine if they had done a Zelda show or a Metroid show like that?
Metroid would be amazing.
How amazing that would be. Either one, where you took it seriously. I mean, all we got was, excuse me, princess.
I still kind of argue that Zelda, honestly, it's bad. Don't get me wrong. But if you were to take off the name Zelda, I would kind of enjoy watching that. It's just so stupid and silly. You just wanted to see if
they could solve the king's problem with his water park.
I know, I have to be honest, I legitimately enjoy the banter between Link and Zelda. I don't know why.
I will say this, I think that's probably its biggest problem, is when you throw Zelda on it, that's... I don't know, I can't even come up with an equivalent, but you just don't just don't.
Zelda now has like this whole mythos.
Had it been any other characters, even back then though, the games were like Zelda 1, 2, and 3. Like there was an air of seriousness to them.
They had no idea what to do.
They weren't bantering.
Like if you rip the name off, it's a fun, dumb, stupid cartoon. Where the Mario one, even if you took the Mario off, it's like, nah, that's just stupid. I mean, it's not fun. It's not well animated. But the Zelda one, I'd actually like. When we were watching, I'm like, this is not Zelda, and it's really stupid. But I'm laughing at some of this.
It would be like taking X-Men and turning Magneto and Xavier into like something out of Grumpy Old Men.
Yeah.
Where they're like living in a cabin and like if you'd be like, actually this is really pretty funny. It's hilariously written, but the fact that their names are attached, it's like, no, this doesn't work. Now watch somebody try it, but it just
they kind of did with that where Xavier fires Magneto, Pete Holmes or whatever his name
I guess.
is.
I mean, so it can work as a comedic sketch, but could you see a show?
Yeah, no, probably not. Well, with those two, it would be
Could you see a movie? No.
I'll say no, but those sketches.
Could you see them totally doing that at a convention?
Yes. Somebody get on there.
Should they do it at a convention? Yes. But don't make a whole show based on it.
So yeah, that's our 2 cents on the Sonic shows, and we'll just see you the next time we have a Saturday morning show that probably doesn't deserve as much talk as we gave it, but goddamn it, we're going to, because good shit deserves to be good shit and talked about. That last sentence made no...
Ooh, Ewoks!